I don't want to be remembered as a woman who's always exhausted. I don't want to be remembered as a woman who was always stressed, always busy, always rushing, always holding herself together and pushing through. I would like to be remembered as a relaxed woman, as a compassionate woman, a curious, joyful, pleasure-loving woman, a woman who works hard but also rests very deeply, who loves fiercely and lives peacefully. A woman who knows her worth and her power, who accepts her imperfections and her vulnerabilities, who embraces her limitations and her possibilities. A woman who laughs and cries and aches and loves and is enchanted by the mess, by the magic, by the awareness of this beautiful, shimmery life. By Nicole Jane Hobbs. This whole sentiment tracks for this whole week in my life, or 2 or 3, or I don't even know. What you're seeing on the screen is definitely a week. Where I've lived for, it's like, what again? Onward and upward, and once again, what again? And you hear asking me so many times, how am I so positive all the time? Okay, so let's get the record straight. As the past few weeks have felt like I've been hit in so many different areas all at once, because yes, we know when it rains, it pours. It has given me quite a beatdown, to be honest. And not in a drastic way like the past times. However, in a, let me put out this fire, oh, and another one. Let me put out this one, oh, another one. Let me put out this one, and another one, and another one, and another, and you're like, whoa. All this while having to postpone my regular program schedule, while also continuing with life responsibilities. So, what was going to be a huge life-changing meetings, or at least it was what it felt like because of the topics that we were going to be speaking at them, or in them, or with them, to spending hours on the phone and or at offices dealing with those life fires thrown my way. I was clearly, all in caps, not okay for a week or 2 or so, because I could tell it on my face, I could tell it within my body, and my whole nervous system in once. Like, it was just not with it. And the first thing I did was cancel what I had going on to prioritize these tasks. Because responsibilities first. Let's put those fires out, right? Now, once those were done and taken care of, I continued canceling things. Yep. Even after the fires were put out, I still paused everything. Or almost everything. Because the ground was burned. The soil needed new rain. The mind needed to stop and sleep. And I was about to say, to recover what was lost along the way. However, I will change it up and say, to see what was gained from what had occurred. Granted, while I do have the abundance and the privilege to stop certain things in my life and still keep the navigation going, it is not taken lightly, because everything I do in my life does depend on me. So, taking the risk of canceling meetings the week after the burn meant that I will postpone further steps, because aligning agendas and structures and spaces means, quote-unquote, a loss of time, money, and connections. Hence, the beautiful thing in the quote and the paragraph that I read from Nicole Jane Hobbs. Going from a mindset of wanting to not be remembered, someone who's always running around, I took a step back and I'm like, I want to be remembered as a relaxed woman, compassionate woman, curious, joyful, pleasure-loving woman, a woman who works hard but rests deeply, who loves fiercely and lives peacefully, a woman who knows her power and who knows her worth and accepts imperfections and her vulnerabilities, who embraces her limitations and possibilities, who laughs and cries in every single part of the city, believe me, and then some, and loves this beautiful shimmering life. Going from screaming out chants on Women's Day, including a fueling inner fire dance by Vitamin Spice, to a soulful Sunday was the best gift I could give myself. Because as emotions rise and chaos is always around and the rush of the daily life is present, the workshop I went to the very next day, led by Lydie and Monica, was, oh my gosh, the most refreshing soul medicine I needed to take off the weight that I was carrying within myself and to create what was inside me. Because, my goodness gracious, that was also the gift I needed to give to myself. After canceling things and pausing things, I also had to go into a space of knowing myself, taking care of myself. And for me, that looks like yoga, that looks like art, that looks like the beach, that looks like so many different things. And at that very moment in time, that's exactly what I needed. So I gave myself that gift. Very important thing, to be kind and gentle to yourself, pleased and thankful. And last and not least, as we wrap up the ways that I've been able to move forward and onward and upward again and maybe look like I'm always positive, is that my very first meeting after the chaos that I had to keep because I really wanted it for myself was all about moving forward with my business. And that helped me so much because it was a clear reminder of my worth, much like the yoga and the art. It was all about standing my ground, much like everything else, like the pausing and the resting. Keep on believing in myself, something I definitely need more in my life, sincerely. And also, I had to take a step back to then be able to push forward. A revamp, back to the drawing board, I say, if you will. So where some may see that as a drawback, I'm off being creative to the drawing board. Let's go. So how does this connect to the original question? Simply put, I'm not. I also have to work hard on myself every single day while giving myself grace, which seems like a paradox. But that also pairs up very well, remembering that I also need to have the courage to believe in myself even more, take the further steps of faith with my business, thankful as well, but please and thank you. All while knowing what I want, thanking myself, oh, there we go, when I do stop, because rest is needed, all in cap locks. And the big one, playing. Remember to play, much like the quote says. Feels like, again, all in cap locks, a lot still. And you know what? I am capable of this. I am worthy of making my dreams come true. I am ready for them. And here I am, being who I am, and giving myself a chance to make it happen. How do you overcome a rough patch? Let me know. Let's pull ourselves up and onward together. Hug tighter, love stronger, always believe you know where I'm at. Sending you all the love in the world, today and always.